approved by the FDA, and sorry, I thought we were maybe showing another picture. It was approved by the FDA back in 2013, and it is the only medication on the market that is a prescription for morning sickness. The problem is you can't, I mean, the rules are, you can't say all that's good and not also let people know what the possible
like you said earlier, full disclosure. You've got to tell them what it is, which is one of those commercials. They do the fast talking at the end.
But if it's prescription, wouldn't, to play devil's advocate here, wouldn't you have to contact your doctor first if you're going to be taking this? It's not like you just go take it off the shelves and
you would
take
think, but
Kim's
there
advice
are
for it.
different ways people get medication,
Yeah,
you know,
well, we've seen,
not above board. So I don't know, but but I think the real thing is here, it wasn't even them. They definitely are going after Kim Kardashian. I mean, in terms of just taking it down.
Because she reaches so many people.
Because she reaches 100 million people, like you said. But the real thing is they posted a letter and notified the drug company. The drug company that makes this drug is out of Canada, and they had violated the rule before. A couple years ago, the FDA had already notified them because they had sent out a letter to doctors saying this is the greatest drug ever and didn't disclose the risk.
So they had the target on them.
Yeah, I think the real target, the real target is the drug maker. And then maybe just a warning to celebs that do this kind of thing that, hey, you know, you need to know the rules too. If you're going to put your name on it, you need to know the rules too.
I wonder if they go after the company though, the Canadian company, because this is the second time that they've tried this stuff.
They did. They sent him a letter. They said you have to eliminate all social media and you have to come up with a plan in place to make sure this doesn't happen again. The CEO responded to the FDA and said, we're doing it immediately. We're working on it. So, all right. Now that story came just hours after Kim, you know, tried to break the internet again, lashing out at critics, claiming that she was using a surrogate for her latest pregnancy. Now, to combat the rumors and maybe steal a little attention from his sister, Kylie, or her sister, Kylie, who had been dominating headlines with her 18th birthday celebration.
We actually covered the booty with that.
I know, with the Good Day banner.
Good Day banner.
I'm surprised the banner was big enough. Anyway, she posted this naked pregnant selfie with the message.
It was a long message.
It's a long message.
Read it for yourself.
Yeah, you're going to have to read that.
She was saying, you know, don't fat shame me, you know, you critics, you know, I love my beautiful body. I'm not using a surrogate, blah, 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 blah.
But is anybody really fat shaming Kim Kardashian?
You know, like Jack said
she
in our
takes
last
naked
hour.
pictures all the time.
It's publicity.
It is not a big deal for her.
I honestly think it was because her little sister was starting to get more attention with the 18th birthday.
Jealousy?
It was an
I think
attention
so,
grab.
which is, it's hard to, well, I guess it happens in families. But
All right, so look, as if that's not enough. Now to today's news concerning Kim Kardashian. Well, it seems a bit more legit than some of her antics that we've reported on. Now, you'll remember yesterday we talked about one of our colleagues down in Orlando who was so fed up with talking about the Kardashians that he just got up and walked off the set and walked away. Well, a lot of people supported that action. So joining us now from Fox 35 in sunny Florida, Good Day Orlando anchor John Brown. John, good morning to you. And I want to know, what was it about this particular Kardashian story? Had you set a mark that said, the 999th time that we talk about the Kardashians, I'm done?
It was a cumulative effect, I think. So when I finally, you know, after 10 days in a row of doing Kardashian stories, when I saw it, I remember the headline, it said something like Kardashian Bunny. I said, that's it. If we have time to get to the story, I'm out. And that's where it went from there.
So it was the bunny that did it for you.
It was the bunny that put him over the top. But listen, now, were you really just doing it for effect, or were you really like, I'm done?
No, and that's what's so funny is we have a fun show like yours, sarcastic, and so it's interesting when people say, look at how mad he was. I wasn't mad. I was being sarcastic, but I was saying what I actually felt.
You know,
and so when... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say that's exactly how I took it. When I saw it, I thought, obviously he's being sarcastic. I mean, we've all felt like walking off the set. In fact, I think we have when we've done Kardashian stories. But I'm surprised that people took it so seriously, where they were saying, "My goodness, he was so angry." It's just that's silly.
You know, and what's so amazing is I had an analytics guy get in touch with me the other day and said, you know, this is the most watched video in the world right now. And I'm like, come on. And, you know, they're talking tens of millions of hits. And he says, why do you think it's gone viral? And I said, I don't know. I think I'm just voicing what a lot of people feel. And it's not like I dislike the Kardashians. But why we feel the need to talk about them all the time, that's the part that I think is silly. And this whole, what's the movement, no Kardashians for a week? Yeah. That's silly too. Why? Okay, if they don't do anything newsworthy, don't talk about them at all. So if they do something newsworthy, we'll talk about them. Why do a week ban? Just cover them when it's actually news.
You know, John, the thing is with the Kardashians, you know, I mean, their reach is so strong because, you know, just hundreds of millions of people following them one way or another. How's it been, what you did, how has that been received? Have you been getting hate from Kardashian supporters that, like, are taking this too seriously? Are you hearing from people from far, far away or people of important status?
Well, it made the Nigerian Herald today, and it was a very positive story. So, you never know what you're going to get. But it's been 99.999% positive until, I think, last night. And then I started to see some of the backlash from the people who like the Kardashians. And again, I respond, I don't dislike the Kardashians. I just don't know that it's in our best interest to talk about the naming of a bunny. And that was the whole thing all along. And, you know, are these the kind of stories that we think the public wants? And now I'm hearing from the public that says, no, we don't care. And so that's why I think I hit my point.
Well, we're going to see what happens, see if that's contagious or not.
A good fight. Keep it up, brother. Keep it up.
Yeah. Meanwhile, management has come down to John now and said, storm off as many times as you can because that video went so viral. We want it to happen again.
Get that attention. Exactly. Yeah. So, you know, John mentioned it, and if people can go an entire week without talking about their Kardashians. Wow, that was fancy.
Graphic for this?
Yeah.
So, you know,
on Friday, our station in Orlando was about to do a story about Kylie Jenner, and she had a new pet rabbit, and she named it Bruce. Oh, my God. Anyway, John Brown, a kindred soul, one of the anchors at Good Day Orlando, apparently had enough.
I'm having a good Friday, so I refuse to talk about the Kardashians today. You are on your own, Amy. I can't do it. I've had enough Kardashians. I can't take any more Kardashian stories on this show.
Okay, well, we gotta get it in now because you mentioned it, John. Kylie Jenner got a new. You come here, Jamie. Come here.
I don't care. This family. I'm sick of this family.
But do you think
I can't take it anymore.
Is there something psychological behind this?
It's a non-story. It's a non-story. We're talking about this family every freaking day on this show. Nobody cares about this family anymore.
Crying? All right, the video has more than 2 million views on YouTube.
Whoa.
#1 trender on Facebook Monday. John Brown joins us right now. There's the man right there, John.
For some reason, you airing your grievances really struck a nerve with America.
You know, and that's what a lot of people have asked me, you know, why did this go viral? One of the analytics guys from LA, oddly enough, said, do you realize this is the most watched video in the world as of yesterday at that point? And I'm like, you know, I'm not saying anything that a lot of other people haven't said. Why it resonated with people right now, I have no idea, but what a wild ride this has been over the past, I guess, 5 days.
Hey, John, one of the reactions I had to this when we ran the piece yesterday at noon was, you mean you cover that crap in Orlando as much as we do here in L.A.?
Of course.
Hey, it was funny because I was waiting to see. I knew you guys would post it, being part of our family here, and that's what I was concerned about or curious about was to see the reaction in LA. And I think it's even bigger in Los Angeles because you guys get even more of it than we do. Yeah. And you know, people always say, "Why? You know, what do you have against the Kardashians?" That's been the only negative. And I said, I have nothing against the Kardashians. They're doing what they should do, right? They're a business. My point is, why do we feel the need to cover every single story, including the naming of a rabbit?
Well,
and that was the point. I'm like, I'm out.
The irony in all of this is we are now talking about it even more because of your reaction.
And John, you have to thank the Kardashians.
You are responsible for it this morning.
John, so here's my question, though. We all work in this business. Yes. We all want eyeballs. If Kim Kardashian called you up and said, I'd love to do an interview on your show. Tomorrow. What would you say?
You know what? We would have to. That's a good question. I would interview her because I would want to know how they're able to get their stories to the media. And here's one thing that I spoke out in the BuzzFeed article. I said, you know, in the media, we seem to think everybody wants to hear about the Kardashians, and then the people in the public hear us talk about it, so they assume it's a big story, and then the cycle just goes. I mean, that's nothing revolutionary
also, John,
but it's like it feeds on itself.
Sure, John. John, you've heard me say this over and over again. In the earlier days, when there weren't that many options for viewers, for getting information, et cetera, information was based on what does the public need to know to get through life.
Yeah.
Now it's, what do we think they want to hear?
Or what's trending?
Yeah, well, yeah, what's trending, and it is what's trending because we're trending it.
Well, yeah, it's like it's a sixth cycle. It's a sixth cycle, John.
And you know what's also funny? There's a couple of things that have come out of this that I think are interesting. First of all, you know, people who say I'm anti-Kardashian, which I'm not, right? I just say we'll cover them when it's actual news. That hashtag, what is it, no Kardashians for a week? Somebody just tweeted me, said, what do you think about it? I said, well, it's silly. Why would you just get rid of them for a week? If they do something newsworthy, then cover them. You don't need to ban them for a week. What if they actually do something newsworthy during that week?
Well,
it's just to cover them when it's actually news. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
I think
the ultimate irony here, guys, is what the Tonight Show did the segment last night, and my phone blew up because I was already asleep at that point. And somebody said, John, you are now a non-story, talking about a non-story that is now the biggest story in the world.
Yep.
That's irony.
Hey, John.
That's America.
John, you're on television in LA today. We never heard of you until yesterday.
You're a superstar.
You're a star, John. You are in the Kardashian story.
They got you here, John.
That's my concern. Yeah, and that's my concern is that I went to the mall yesterday. It's really the first time I've been out since this whole thing blew up. And everybody, oddly enough, everybody wants to talk about the Kardashians. Of course.
Oh my God.
And John, I just have a question for you.
What a tangled
I have a
web
question.
we
I'm looking
weave.
at you where you are right now. It looks like you're in our newsroom.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
Oh.
It's very similar. These are actually your people. I'm in LA right now.
I
These are your
saw
people
Tim back
behind
there. I
me
saw a lot of
right
people I
here.
know.
The thing is,
They're all
everyone's
back
doing
there.
what we're doing all over the country.
You know what's funny? When I watched the clip, John, it took me a couple times to realize when you left, someone
Well, that
else
wasn't you
stepped
sitting
in.
down.
I
Yes.
didn't get that.
I didn't get that
at
either.
first.
And then I'm like, oh, he had a yellow tie. The guy stepping in had a purple
That makes it
tie.
better.
Anyway, minor
Yeah,
detail.
and that's the other thing is people think I'm actually mad. I'm very sarcastic.
Yeah.
And you know, so what I said was what I felt, but people think he's angry. I'm like, I wasn't. I've never been angry in my life.
Did you get Did you get a scolding after that or anything?
Oh, you're kidding.
From
Cheers. Cheers. From
no,
management?
from like your boss. I don't know.
Oh, please.
Well, there's a radio station in the Midwest asking right now, should he be promoted or fired? I feel like calling in saying, I like the promoted. The other option is not a good one for me.
Oh, no.
Do me a favor. Turn around to your newsroom. Say hi to everybody. Let them wave to L.A. Go ahead.
Hey, everybody say hi to L.A.
There you go.
They love you. We watch you on the computer after we're off our show, so we love you guys.
Sorry to hear that. Great to see you,
Thanks,
John.
John.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, I can't.
In Orlando.
Wait, you should have read this while he was still on.
Yeah, you're right. Believe it or not, I mentioned this earlier. When we come back, look ashamed. We have a Kim Kardashian story. She's being called out by the FDA. See, it's not when they make news. Anytime we can justify them making news, it becomes the biggest story.
But this actually is news.
This actually is newsworthy.
Yeah, on a scale of what?
Well,
it's
celebrity
our scales
scale.
are different
On a
now.
scale of nothing to mildly.
But only because it involves someone's health.
Yeah.
It involves the health of people.
You know
FDA.
something else that he said? He wants to know how they get their message out all the time. They don't have to get it out.
We do
We
it
do
for
it
them.
for them. It's brilliant.
It all started with a sex tape. We forget. That's the message.
Oh, no, we haven't forgotten.
We haven't forgotten.
This is like the world we're in. So that's the basic.